Hey guys, got an interesting little chat that we're gonna have today, and I want you to participate in this at the end of the video, but I want you to take yourself back for a moment and think about when you first started playing guitar. No matter what level you're at, what are some of the things you would do differently if you were starting right now today, picking up guitar for your first time? I want you to think about this as we get into this video, because I'm going to give you the 3 things that I would do differently if I were starting to play guitar for the first time right now today. Now keep in mind, I've been playing guitar, guys, since 1989. Actually, the end of '89 was when I picked up an acoustic guitar with 4 rusty strings. I know a lot of you guys have read my story in my book, Heavy Metal and Weights. That's on Amazon, by the way. Quick shameless plug there. There's a link in the description of this video for that if you guys don't have that. It's a pretty cool read, a really easy read because I wrote it, and you guys know I'm like Leonard Skinner. I'm a simple man. Anyway, I've been playing for, several decades now. Since I picked up guitar, I always wanted this to be what I did with my life. So keep that perspective in mind as we go through this, and I think this will make a lot more sense. And before we dive in, also, I really hope that this helps some of you as well. I hope some of the things that we talk about really kind of get you over that hump if you feel like, you're kind of stuck. So anyway, let's dig in. One thing I would do, I would dive a little bit deeper into music theory. Now, you guys have probably heard me say on my channel more than once that theory is just not something that I ever felt that I needed to learn. But there's another perspective I want to share with you, and a reason why that if I were starting over today, I would dig in a little bit deeper. Now, keep in mind that when you learn guitar, if I say, for example, hey, Eddie, Tom, play an E minor, and you play me an E minor chord, well, you know some theory because that's music theory. That is based on music theory, okay? So you learn a little bit of theory as you start out playing guitar, just learning those chords and maybe a few basic scales. You might not even realize it because it's very basic stuff. But the one reason I would dig a little bit deeper into music theory is to simply speak the universal language of music. And that way I can communicate with other musicians that may be well versed in theory. Well, at least I kind of have an idea of what they're talking about. And the reason for that is because I feel like I may have missed some opportunities in the past that I may have had I dug a little bit deeper into, let's call music theory, the universal language of musicians. That sounds a little bit cooler anyway, right? Now let me tell you why I didn't dig deep into theory, and this is gonna hurt some of you, and it kind of hurts me too. Well, 2 things. One is ego, and the thing that follows that ego, or that kind of creates that ego sometimes, is simply fear. You see, I never considered myself to be highly intellectual or intellectual at all. In fact, I was behind the curve a bit. Like a C minus, well, hey, that was a good thing for me. And I always thought of learning music theory as academic, as something that an intellectual person would have to learn. Okay, well, I've got to memorize all this stuff. So I just kind of did away with it. I'm like, I don't need it. Now, let me back up a second. I'm not going to tell anyone that you absolutely need music theory to be a great musician. There are plenty of musicians, guys, notable musicians, that didn't go beyond that simple point, right, of just the chords and maybe a few basic scales. And again, I'll be the last person to say, hey, let me play this scale here in a solo. Well, I'm not going to do that because that's already been played a gazillion times, and that would not be authentic or original. I would simply want to do that to speak that universal language of music. So that's just something for you to think about, and I'm actually diving a little bit deeper. I don't know how far I'll go with this, but I'm diving just a little deeper into music theory right now. Another shameless plug real quick. So Ken Candelas, the co-owner with me of the Metal Mastermind platform, this is where we put all of our music courses on. Well, he released a course called Metal Music Theory So I'll leave a link for that in the description of this video as well if you guys want to check that out. I'm actually in the course right now, so haven't really made it too far because I just need to sit down and spend some more time in it. Second thing I'd do if I were starting to play guitar for the first time right now today, I would focus on developing my own signature style and sound as early as I possibly could. Now, again, if you're just starting out, you don't know what you're doing, so you're going to rely on other guitar players to help you. You're going to rely on the advice of others for your sound and tone and all that good stuff. But understand and just keep this in the back of your mind, as you progress, you don't really want to sound like that guitar player or have that tone or whatever. You need to sound like you. That's what makes a great musician. If you think about the notable guitar players, like the most famous and most amazing guitar players that are out there, to me that would be people like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Kirk Hammett, Slash, all these guys that I grew up with. I didn't grow up with them, but grew up listening to them and being inspired by them. Eric Johnson, another one. All these folks are just known for their own style and sound. They're not known for, well, I sound like this guitar player and I have that tone over there. No, that's not how you become a great musician. You need to focus on developing your own style and sound. And don't let anyone tell you that, well, that sounds wrong or your style is wrong. Now, of course, you want to create good habits. Again, if you're just starting out today, if we're starting over right now, learn. Practice as much as possible, right? Don't not practice for a month and play garbage and say, well, that's my own style and sound. No, I'm not giving you a license to do that. Practice your rear off, man. Get those fingers exercising, learn as much as you can, and this will actually help you develop that style and sound a lot quicker because you'll have more confidence when you pick up your guitar. But I just want to encourage you, develop your own style, focus on that. And one of the best ways you can do that is get into writing your own music. Don't always rely on learning someone else's music. I see a lot of people out there playing covers, and look, that's awesome, that's great, but you've got to move past that, because in creating your own riffs and writing your own music, bringing out your own personal style and sound, well, now you're developing a completely different skill set that complements your guitar playing. So this is something that if I were starting over right now today, that I would focus a lot of time on. I would quickly try to get to that level of confidence, which means practicing as much as I can, and start venturing out and just writing my own material and developing my own signature style and sound.
I guess it's not so strange that I never went far. The years, they go by so fast. Did I ever have that?
Number 3, I would go all in. I'd make the decision that this is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm all in, there's no turning back, and I will do whatever it takes, not letting anything stand in the way of this vision and this dream that I have to be a musician and a guitar player. Now, let's back up. I realize some of you may not have that vision. Some of you don't have that aspiration. That is okay, but I know a lot of you watching this right now, you do have that deep down inside of you, and you're probably thinking, yeah, I wish I had gone all in 10 years ago, 20 years ago, kind of like I'm telling you right now. When I started playing in 89, early 90s, I'm like, well, had I gone all in back then, where would I be today? Who knows? But as a good friend once told me, there's a reason why your windshield is so much bigger than your rear view mirror, because we are supposed to look forward, not back. I'm all in today, guys. You guys know that. Again, I play music full time. Everything I do is related to music. So if I were starting today though, right, if I were starting over, I would make the decision to go all in. And I want to give you some encouragement to some of you folks out there that is your desire, but you're like, this just seems unrealistic, that ship has sailed, or I've got this going on in my life and there's just no way I can dedicate that amount of time. I will tell you this, guys, if you want something bad enough, you will figure out a way to make it, okay? And you have to realize that that dream of making it, so to speak, it might not be that you've created Metallica, right? Or that you're touring with one of the bigger bands or something like that. There are so many pathways to go all in with music, guys. There's a lot of things that you can do, and maybe I'll share some of that on a different video. You have to make decisions in life that's going to support that dream, that's going to support that vision. Again, if we go way back to my 20s, guys, they're about 13 years, and I'm not going to go down this road, but they're about 13 years from like 20 years old to 32, 33, where, yeah, I played music and I was even on stage in some cases, but the decisions I had made and was making at that time in my life did not support the dream and the vision that I had to go all in with music. And guys, again, I'm not going to dig into all that, but my point to you is if you want this to happen, you have to have the mentality of I'm all in no matter what. There's no looking back. There's no plan B. And I know that's probably really bad advice for a lot of you, okay? It kind of sounds silly, but you kind of have to be a little crazy about it, guys, okay? You kind of be like, okay, this is it. I'm doing it. And you just make the decision to go all in and do it. What are the things that you would do right now today that you didn't do when you first started playing guitar? If you're picking it up for the first time, hey, drop a comment on this video. This is going to create some really interesting conversations, and I can't wait to read your comments on the things that maybe you feel like you missed back then, but you're starting to work on that a little more now. And of course, hopefully that's helping you progress even more in your own style of playing guitar and playing music. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little chat here. I always love just talking to you guys. I feel like we're in the studio here together, just hanging out, talking about the stuff that we love. Remember, we're going all in here. But yeah, drop me your comments, guys. Don't forget to check out the links in the description of this video. I talked about some things earlier in the video, so check those out. Those are all in the description here. And guys, please give this a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. Turn those notifications on. I'm always putting out cool content for you guys. And until the next video, as always, keep it metal.